One of the common myths in Scrum is kind of a proxy myth. This proxy myth is, why do we spend so much time working on story points when story points measure complexity and not time, and then we have to figure out how many story points fit in a sprint, right? And I 100% agree with that. That part is not a myth. The bit that's a myth is that story points are even a Scrum thing in the first place. They're not. Story points has nothing to do with Scrum. It never has, apart from as a practice, potentially complementary practice, that teams choose to take on in order to get to an outcome. When you find complementary practices are not adding value, you should be stopping doing them, not continuing with them. So if you're in that position where you find that story points are not adding value, great, stop doing them and choose something else. Choose a different way. The guy that invented story points, or that is generally accredited with inventing story points, has a public apology online for creating them in the first place because of how they tend to be used within organizations as a pseudo proxy for time to beat developers round the head with, right? They were originally invented as a reasonable way for developers to sit and have a conversation and figure out what they don't know. That's the purpose in story points. We can all get together. We maybe use another complementary practice called planning poker. And all that really is we keep our cards to ourselves, right? We're not going to tell each other what story point we're going to pick, how complex t-shirt sizes, right? Whatever you pick, how complex this thing is. And you've got one developer that says this is a small or a 1, right? You've got 4 developers that say that this is a 5 or a medium. And then you've got one developer that says this is an extra large or a 21, right? And the idea is, what do they know that we don't, or what do we know that they don't? That's the purpose of story points and complexity conversations. It should be used almost solely during refinement in order to enable teams to right-size their backlog items and decide, do they fit in a sprint? Do we understand them or do we not? After that, delete the numbers. They're useless. Don't use them anymore. That's their purpose for that one context. Don't bring them into the wider context. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, follow, and subscribe. I always reply to comments, and if you want to have a chat about this or anything else Agile, Scrum, or DevOps, then please book a coffee with me through NKDAgility.